right, y'all. Hey, listen. Anybody hungry? All right, feed on this. The most applicable, easiest to remember, shortest to recite of Scripture of that we title Bible, Holy. Jesus wept. I said this once before, I'll say it again. The book of John, the book to start with. Maybe never have to leave, especially John 6. But there not which of I speak, that scripture, Jesus wept. Not only is it the shortest, it's the easiest to remember and easiest to apply. Jesus wept because Lazarus, his cousin, had died. Convincingly died. Stunk the tomb up, as death would, on a person still lingering. So, Jesus wept, but he wasn't satisfied about being sad. So he did something about it. So he said, well, let's change that. Let's make him not dead. So he did that. And so there's for reason for that scripture being applicable to all of us at all times. Because I tell you what, my daughter's going to be 12 this year. Jesus wept. My sons are all good, ready to be men. The mothers of our children are beautiful, intellectual, and devoted to care for our children. And I am grateful for those that are not biologically mine, but consider ours as ours. Because there's no child that should ever be an orphan. We should have, not orphanages, we should have whole residencies available freely, yet cost effective, in order for us public to resolve the effects and symptomatic negative side effects that come with being, all of us, lost, broken, and homeless. All of us are, no matter how much we think we are succeeding. All of us still. Hey, y'all, thank you for showing up. I didn't know how long I've been there, but I received your message in the belief that it was good, because I wasn't able to read it fast enough, and I love you for being here. You're here whether you know it or not, because you're physically here. You're my here. You're mentally here, because you're in my brain. I'm thinking, speak to you, and you're spiritually, because that's how we love. It's inexplicable, either of the two thereof before, and so I'm there, and you're here, and crazy. Kung Fu! Hey, bro. Fire! Bring me that spear, bro. I'm feeling a little like I should rest, and this is rest for me, so I should be restfully entertaining. Kung Fu Kenny, my boy. Hey, yo, give me song, yo. Give me song of joy. Kung Fu Kenny. Kung Fu. Oh! Hey, bro, I'm lack of enthusiasm today only because I feel depleted a little more than less than of wish I need is energy. Play They Not Like Us. Will do first intention of being on cue. And ooh, shut up, y'all. Ooh, anybody need some free? Hey, what was that again? Ooh, pretty. Bro, say it again. They not we. They. See, bro. I keep reminding, indubitably, that I am infallible and indubitably, immutably, theoretically, hypothetically, considered theory. I believe sometimes, somewhere in education, that we are creatures that are capable, yet we are not who are we to become yet. And that's the reason for improvement, period. That's the reason for education. Knowledge is not power to build a bomb, but it is to build and make the bullets. So you see, one can't be without the other. That intent of bad or eager ill or ilk of that being, they work out majorly, in most of the major way because people are quick to excuse trespass when they are also trespassing against our intention and our promise of reason for being in ourselves. I tell you what, the whole blanket answer that comes completely true, non-evasive, the real reason for us being living, the whole reason. This is some big mystery. It's not. It's not at all. It's just denied. Our reason for being is to love and worship God. That's the whole reason. In doing so, there is allowance completely for free will. And so that is why horrendous acts of violence, betrayal, and negative influence are allowed. Because there is the part of the prayer, our Father's prayer, that says one word that stands out to me, more than just specially, as they all are, is forgiveness. Here's the thing. We think we need to forgive others. We think that is our obligation. So we get forgiveness from Him, our Lord, our beautiful, manly, feminine, masculine Creator, who is all. it is unfortunate that one of us doesn't see fit to belong, because those are those most necessary. The truth is far more interesting and entertaining than ever would be some fiction based on something was told, or even imagination. That's fun. But the truth is often weirder science, and often hard to maintain if you throw lies in. I don't remember shit from yesterday. All I remember is that yesterday still is. And so as well tomorrow. It will always be that we have and had and maybe to be halved. Who knows though? Time is precious, not money. So believe in spiritual currencies and put faith and trust and conviction, none more in your bank account, which is also a square building built by brick that people put a lot of faith and belief in. Observedly and statistically accurately, way more than any kind of spiritual building anybody enters. And here's the thing. Money don't rule the world. We, the ruined, with money, ruin the world. And some of us on purpose. And some of us not his purpose. So some of us are loving success and believing it's our own. Anybody ever give you $1 million? Well, I have been given. I receive it incrementally if I age that of 65 years. So I will garnish whatever collected, received, thankfully, and agreeably, that I should be compensated for my deficit, which is a gift. So how can I not convince this deficit, so-called, is a disability, and rather a gift? How does one truly aspire or even succeed at trying to be compensated for being insane? I delayed all forms of request for inclusion into a list of persons on disability from the VA, 100%. We are more than adequately compensated for our service, which was never enough for anybody, even though we die for it. I am receiving well over what I need for myself. But you gotta remember, it's all hope for help. Every genuine gesture of kindness to me belongs titled Hope for Help, voluntarily at least, and belong it on your resume, because I am the founder and I include you as not just an employee, but a full-time volunteer, because my employees, they don't work for me, they work for him, and they volunteer their service to a request of one that I consider somewhat of mine, and that's how Hope for Help works. It's something given, uh, sometimes received, but given truly mostly, and not expecting. And that is spiritual currency invested in. And let me tell you why spiritual currency works so much better. You ever get something that happened for you of your will with just a smile, with just a notion of gratitude or pleasure in company thereof? You know, they say laughter is the best medicine. I don't know. Sunny Jeff. I don't know. It's hard to laughter it up and make yourself better with broken ribs or any kind of injury to the pectoral chest area. Uh, Sometimes it gets hard to breathe, and this is why the only pain we should inflict is that which equals and that thereof is love. Because pain is love. And when we tell someone, it was tough love we served them with, yeah, that just means they were an asshole for a little while, so they felt like an asshole back. That's half-assed. You know what? Genuinely give someone something they need, and most of the time it's just a good word. You know, that stranger on the street at the bus stop, waiting haplessly. Those are the people who need it most. Those people who we don't approach. Those are the ones who need it most. Just that simple gesture of kindness and genuine personification of a caring human being. Because a lot of us are claiming to be that which is good, but I don't want to be good. I want to be great. And if I fuck it up, I'm going to fuck it up big. You know why? I'll make the bigger, greater mistakes because that means I tried harder and I failed a lot more. But in the sense that from this failure, I'll receive proper teaching from that source I want to learn from. And so accept failure as only a chance for next success. And remember, football is once a week, but our athletes, their performance is documented. How hard is that? Everybody knows what you're paid for, how long you're paid for, why you're paid for. Everyone knows your business in the athletic professional occupation. And I don't think that's right at all, because now I deserve to be paid for what he does, more or less. That's not how an enterprise succeeds for a greater, longer time of venture. Because if you pay people, like you say, the NFL, for future performance, and that's what a contract is about, but you also compensate for the performance that you compensated on your last contract, well, there's an urgent need for renegotiation immediately. And let me tell you why. Greed. And greed comes down to pride. Everything. Because pride is the only thing good for us that we completely do wrong. There is pride in the fact I have, in the fact of the matter, that I take pride in myself for showing my proudness of Him in me, for me, with me, about me, and still all Him consistently. And John 6:56 says, "Eat of my flesh and blood, I and you and me." And how does that not say and give us allowance to at least try to achieve this perfection that will never happen again on this ethereal plane? No, never. Jesus did what all of us could, but never will, as perfectly, profoundly, and eternally as He did. So I tell you, my real name is Jesus, which is Spanish for Jesus, which is English for Yeshua, and it's Arabic. And I can't tell you how many languages the Bible is in, but I'll tell you how many of us people should not be the book, but be better than. And is that not pride? Goddamn, it's pride. Goddamn right, it's pride. It's pride in Him that we are able to receive that and relay it, convey it with love as He does. Because, oh my God, don't get me wrong, God gets impatient. Trust me, Jesus went into the temple with a whip. And I'm not sure I'd get away with that even with my supposed illness. I don't know. It's chronic, but I consider it a chronic gift. It just gets better for me and worse for others. It's hard to obtain something so illogical and nonsensical that makes perfect sense to us all. In being that I am only 0.32% of the population that is gifted with schizophrenia. But I'll tell you the truth, mine, about this topic. Everybody's schizophrenic, or wants to be. Everybody's loved by God, or wants to be. Everybody's gifted in this world, or wants to be, right? Well, we are. Speak thou, therefore, into existence, and therefore it shall be. Because there's nothing like proving the truth than doing it. Right, Sonny? Love you, bro. Hey, I ain't trying to ignore you or be preachy, but I am that today, now, at this moment, because I believe there's a conversation going on in my head that is not mine own, and it deservedly be so that I portray it in some sort of documentary video way, and that truth is displayed in its non-editing kind of way, not display the distruth instead of the dismay, because I'll tell you what, like I say, the truth is way more interesting, and I'll tell you why. You ever fuck something up and then tell the story like you didn't? That's a lie. And I'll tell you what, when we admit to fucking it up, it's far more funnier. And I'll tell you why. Because
life is humorous, and God definitely. I don't know if he tells jokes. I don't know if he does jokes, but he created the ability to do so. And all that whole person concept, Spartans developed this mindset a long time ago. And they backed off, who was it? No, in Middle Eastern, Arxes, or Xerxes, that, can't remember exactly what, rather now called someone different, territory. But it was, Persia, referred to as. And, that was a Romanist time, Persia. They're far less invested in improvement or any kind of development with the society they conquered. Persia was a brute force, undeniably. But Spartans were trained to be far, far superior in tactics, military-wise, and politically, and democracy, and all that we agree upon that promotes our society. Spartans were tiny people, tiny in a population, and part of a small, still group of sort of a consortium of agreement in same team. I'll tell you what, the Spartans were considered those of us that live and survive at being at Marines. That is the closest thing. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. Some of our hardest training troops, even the UK, the SKS, what do they call those? The SKS? Anyway, they're trained hard, and not like Spartan boys though. Spartan boys, they sent them off hopeless and told them to be a thief and be a good thief and don't get caught. And you'll learn. That's Spartan. That's not learning to steal, not loving to take, but the ability and wherewithal to do so if necessary. And that is how we survive, most of us, by ways that are not advised. Remember, fortune favors the bold, but we often do not what we're told. This is an ancient law, very old. And that could be lonely, very cold, very well. Good recital, I still hear you. And this is why we are live, y'all. And it's important that we reflect our ideas and opinions. If only, therefore, we first must think about what we're doing before we're doing it. When we're doing it, we do it all the way. Okay? Right, Jen? We learned this all in this way. We learn this now only publicly because this is what, most importantly, I taught to all my babies, my 4 boys and princess. Think about what you're doing before you're doing it. And when you're doing it, do it all the goddamn way. You know? And then, but Trin, that is okay. That's cool. I wish we had her on more. She is a person of beauty, insight, that coincidentally, which I don't believe in coincidence, reflects as well as her outer beauty. So, eventually she will be on, I hope, and in order to promote herself, and she is worth attention and value thereof. So, how about Sonny? Jack, full seed. We put in a song now. It's been 30 minutes, and it still feels longer than any lecture I deserve to get for. Remember the things we say and repeat and recite are mostly the things we need to hear for ourselves. Yes, to others. Yeah. So we can do that, but for ourselves. Because our favorite verses are the ones we remember and the ones that directly apply most often. Let me tell you the first verse I learned ever and maintained, able to recite, Ephesians 4:29. Let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth, but only a word that is gratifying, that it may give grace to those who hear. Now, this tongue of ours is a rudder, but this rudder of ours can irrevocably lead us irreparably, dramatically, and drastically for the future when we use it to steer ourselves and or others in the other than opposite direction we should be on. And this is so only we can escape certain fears and responsibilities in a immediate kind of way that resolves our mind's pain. And the brain feels no pain, no nerves in there. But that's where it all tells us it is. Yeah, that's funny. They give us Tylenol to cure the pain that's in our head when it's in our bodies, and so therefore we bear off with ibuprofen. Woo! Tell you what, this feels like more like a session for me to resolve my own personal issues. But I tell you what, folks, my issues are personal, but I believe my issues are your issues. And I am in accordance with resolving them both simultaneously, or mine therefore first, or yours first therefore before mine. Either way, resolution of any sort of lack in development and growth of our spirit, our physical well-being, and our mental well-being, anything that we're lacking in, it's not because we're lazy. It's because it's easier to rest in paradise than it is battlefield. Unless you're meant for war. And sometimes the spiritual battle hurts and is pain and more familiar to a lot more people than the actual Sun Tzu art of war. which is deception. Kayleigh-Ann! Hello, bonjour, madame. I'm a little lacking in enthusiasm only because I am energetically, how do you call that? Uh, spent. In a good way. Because I believe energy spent with intent of positivity becomes that. And any intent that given or received that may seem negative, to me, anyway, as should be us all, used only positively. So take that bad battery and do something with it because there's still energy in there. Maybe throw it hard at a garbage can and make it in. I'll tell you what, there's a reason and purpose for everything, especially those and that which we consider garbage, that which to throw away or abandon from necessity. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. I don't know if I would necessarily say exactly full of shit about that, because I find things myself in the garbage dumpster that I consider to be very precious to me still. And here's how I resolve the difficulty in completely denying this statement. Here's how. Because I will adjust. A poor man's treasure is his fantasy. That's my fifth Hangul proverb. And last, not in its least, of favorability in my own of this learning I learned only because I was attending in attendance of a Hangul language school. By learning, at least learning about even new languages, it don't open doors. It creates them. The opportunity. It doesn't reveal you to you an exacting of a perfect measure of anything someone could say in response or an answer to somebody. Knowing another language that is not immediately recognized as your own is bilingual. Well, if you learn more than one, in my opinion, 1 + 1 is 3. So any other language than the one exception is trilingual. And even though I know how to say thank you in many more ways than 3, still try because I'm trying to be lingual. And just the thought and effort in trying showcases a sentiment of care and respect for that which is strange and foreign to us, and which is funny and irony also in itself because we're all native. We're all native to Mother Earth. All territory is because tyrants dug lines in the earth, created boundary, not for protection, but certain selection about who comes in. And that is most primarily the reason why we should not create lines in the dirt and divide ourselves. We're all native to Mother Earth. I don't care if you call her your Aunt Joe. I don't care if you call her Third Rock from the Sun. I don't care if you call her Hell. I don't care what you call her. This lovely, motherly reflection thereof, this caregiving, this home, this safety, this persistence of place to be and call physically home. This is female to me in its care and consideration, because only that of a feminine, that or feminine like minded has that much care about those that we reproduce, and those that carry that great burden of pregnancy, that beauty, that pain in its beauty, all that some of us that consider unattractive, that is the forefront and the expression of the reason God made lady. And the one being that not only holds the conception of life, but carries it in a duration that is obvious and apparent in its discomfort and challenge, not only physical, but the one he put charge in forever solely to house, hold, care, and love all that which is life. And those of us that are mothers, I want to say I love you and thank you. You know, even mothers that we consider lesser to be are still mothers. And those are those that are mother to their own necessity. And those are unfortunate, unrespectable, respect giving. And those don't need their children. They need to, again, become a child that is cared for. And the only way to do that is to return to a sense of innocence. And naivety is not attainable. It's hard to become a child again, especially when we're raised to be men. But God will often tell you, as Jesus writes it, spoke it to be written, we don't get in this paradise, this paraíso there, up we don't get to this destination that everyone wants to be at, this heaven, unless we are that. It's not like, hold up. No, oh no, I'm a Boy Scout now, and I checked that one off. It's not a measure of badges and accolades and commendations. It's a measure of one's reasoning. I'm skipping the word. It's true intent. And trust me, one of the most explosive, destructive creations, most powerful thing to damage anything ever, the A-bomb. And there's a reason one man invented it, one man built it, one man assembled it together, prepared it for a jet, and then that man that flew the jet dropped it off. There's a reason for all that separate handling, because no one wants to take the blame but the man who did that. Yes, Oppenheimer. And he said himself, self-proclaimed to be the destroyer of worlds. He gave himself too much credit, because we, as a combination of all people, are continually finding a way to destroy the promise of comfort for immediate, impulsive satisfaction. And I do it myself, and I give no excuse for it, only other than that I am looking to celebrate not my personal interest, but the interpersonal interest that we call each other as human. And we're not even human anymore. We're Homo sapien. We used to be so closely related to a different species, close enough to evolve from. And these species, all different. And these are also species that were genetically manipulated by those that were sent to watch and help. Instead, devastate and derail their reason for being in the first place. And I can honestly say, I do that. I've done that. I fucked up on purpose many times. A lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, not without purpose, but without good purpose. See, nowadays when I mess up, I know I'm messing up. And it's not often it is selfishly purposeful, but I make mistakes that everyone can agree to learn from there on, because I make it myself and then I admit to that it being not the right way. Sometimes it's just spontaneous in its confession. Sometimes it's conceived as premeditated. Uh, well, either way, speaking the truth, like I said, is way more interesting and profitable. You stay human, right? Right, baby? You feel? The wise recognize. See, that's why I'm not animated today. Today, I've been going at it for beyond coupling of days combined. Oh, I feel like I'm running on fumes, and those fumes are spiritual. Because there's no way I could have gone on these last 3 days speaking how I spoke and continue to. Words that are gratifying and still graceful, even though I am challenged in my capabilities perceived. This is why faith and practice in thereof so important. Because God is the face we all recognize, but never looks alike. And here's the funny reason. Because we are not gods, plural. We are not a God, each of us. We are what God created, which was a part of Him, which He bestowed a part onto us in spirit, in this form of inexplicability, yet just, ooh, just, just bleeding with curiosity and that wish to know that of that mystery that we all consider to be purposeful, the reason for entertainment and education and the thousands of dollars we invest in the hope that we're believing that we're learning the right thing. Oh my God. There are people now that are in serious, serious debt because of the prestigious yet disinformative information that a highly touted university could only achieve in its recruitment because its notoriety of success in after achievement beyond graduation. And that is the promise, right? Why, therefore, then, do we charge for education? Especially when it's not information that is pertinent to existence. People learn how to actually manage your money. And remember, my money is your money, and your money is mine. How could it not be? How could you just hold on to that and get things? No, your money is mine, and my money is yours. Pretty much everything that this chair I have that I consider as to be my property, it's for you to sit on. Not for me, it's for you. The extra bedroom, for my babies. This home I'm given, it was made for not me exclusively, even when I'm the only one on the lease. It was meant for me, for others, as always. Remember, hope for helping, it's not a contract, but it is a declaration. And that is only in the agreement that when you consider or say even hope for help, that it has not only a statement that merits and warrants attention of necessity, but it also offers a sense of affordability, because, to which I wrote a Hangul proverb 3, all one has to give is what one truly has, and that's love. And that's all that we were born with, love. It took a lot of love. And I'll tell you, love is pain. It's got to be, because it took a lot of love to push this big ass crane that I am out of a herd that which did. I'm not sure that she loved me. I'm sure, though, that which she did push me out of her, she was happy for me to be out. And that merits some deserving attitude I should have for this. We don't choose our parents and we don't choose our kids, but it is choice of one or another to create or be created, because even our souls want to be alive. And I read in Jewish faith that there is a place that souls are contained and awaiting disbursement of a body, a physical form. And it is common knowledge, not supposedly invested in as a political society, but a spiritual one, yes, one that knows that there is these things, these places, these dimensions that are not according to the third dimension which we remain in mostly. So the unexplained is obviously explained with love. Because who doesn't love a surprise? And who gets the best surprise ever? When they die. Who gets the best present ever? Us that always devout consistently on his route? No. It's those 5%ers. Those that call themselves atheists. That's a choice. That's not an informative resolution and answer to thereof anything. That is a choice of disbelief in what is obviously the creator of that disbelief. Because why would God create a robot instead when he created us so that we will? I'll tell you what, AI, it's not artificial. It's not artificial. It's quite real. Technology is real. I push a button and it fucking happens somehow. And that's technology. And that's what one would consider just 100 years ago miraculous, magical, something unexplainable, something out of this world. It's got to be something somewhere else from. And I tell you what, yeah, that alien intelligence, as we call artificial, it's alien. And they do not, those that are not us as Homo sapiens sapiens, those that of us that reside on this Mother Earth are completely alien and non-human, and we work alongside them. And I completely believe this. There's no explanation that is rational, at least, or even explainable in any kind of remotely agreeable way. Then the spike of technology after Roswell and that crash that never happened because it was a weather balloon and those crash anyway and they're meant to ground. That immediate agreement in that there is not only us in the whole fucking universe, but people have been seeing it forever. Da Vinci painted it. The Egyptians were all about it. Even Sumerian text, which is the eldest of that which is written, all believed in this other being, not us, but that manipulated us somehow, some way into being us, not created us, and had a hand in manipulating negatively our genetic code. And I tell you what, a lot of us believe in genetic manipulation simply by eating that big ass fucking strawberry that's as big as a grapefruit. You know, we genetically modify our fruit, our vegetables, our food, our everything all the time. And this is so how we see the benefit of slowly genetically modifying ourselves. And we do this all the time in which we ingest our DNA pattern coding. It's all the same code, but it diversifies itself in its prevalence. We are not numbers, but we are clues, codes, and therefore hidden messages. And we figure all this out scientifically. And like I say, science is a religion, and religion is a science. And that's how we become, because we left out spirit. Life is not supposed to be a dichotomy. Life is not yin or yang. That's too fucking easy to go with the ass all the time. And also far more easier, the reason to go for no. And I tell you what, no one wants to be this or that. All of us wish, even secretly, especially secretly, to be that we were intended in ourselves, wishing to be. Because our expectations as little children are those of which that only learned men do. But we have aspirations to be learned men at a young, early age. And even more pressure to be not only a woman, but a subservient female. You see, a lot of people don't come out and automatically say Jesus was the first liberating person of and for women. That was against all tradition and culture and law, more, if you will. Kung Fu! But I tell you what, Jesus quite emphatically liberated women singularly and altogether, as well as first and foremost, before any of his contemporaries or beforehand ever would have. And you can remember this. They wanted to stone a woman for adultery, right? They wanted to kill this lady that Jesus saved for finding and feeling, showing love where her abusive husband only showed her the exact opposite. And so when they set her up to find her exactly where they knew she'd be, where God put her to be, allowed her to be, this was what they refer to as that SIN word. To me, that's seen. And I don't believe in sin. I believe in seen, and that's Spanish for without. And so I believe in seen, because once you give credence to something so irrevocable and unforgivable as just a simple mistake, may it be intentional, you put it in the hands of an authority that you believe God ordained. And you believe this on the face value only because you never read the book yourself and find reason for being better than the book and never learning the reason for having that reason. Spoon-fed Bible is. I don't know. I don't kind of like asking another grown man to push me on the swing. I don't go that way. In fact, I agree with men only if they agree with God. Most of the time, I tend to disagree on purpose, only to enlighten both ourselves in choice of a difference. And the only difference is improvement. And that's God. God's improving our lives right now and has been and will be. Always. And that's weird how God made the animals first. But why wouldn't he if he made them to serve us and be useful towards us and feed us themselves, if need be, these animals, these creatures that are diverse, yet similar in such ways that we act as characters thereof. All of us have that lion animal in us. Some of us are spiders, arachnid, not insect, is a distinguishing element to insect and spider, because everybody kills a fucking spider immediately. But we try to capture a grasshopper, and it's funny. Even as a kid, I was rather more trusting of a spider to eat the bugs that shouldn't be in my home than a grasshopper to be held in my hand. I don't know. I was weird and different in many different ways. Not on purpose, but made to be. And not my purpose, but for a purpose, of some sort, not selfishly my own. And because I believe in the oddities, I believe in those that God created different, so we could become not that difference, but the difference in improving and improvise on the fly, making it better for someone else and or ourselves, interchangeably or exclusively, mutually. It don't matter. Just make it better. That's hope for helping y'all. And trust me, Jesus I. Gomez 3333. That's my email. You ever want to consider yourself marketed as a full-time volunteer for Hope for Help? Trust me. I will give my word that you are, because I believe so, that if you consider yourself being, then you already were, and you need not apply. You're already hired. Never fired. This ain't no commission. This ain't no pay per dime or hour. This is reason for picking and giving flowers. This is stopping to tell someone and sell the belief that they are beautiful and Not lying or exaggerating, but being honest with our own feelings in recognition that the other is, or at least wants to be, that compliment. And there's nothing worse than a compliment that isn't genuine. It it's a come on line, right? It's a line. Well, I give lines all the time, but it's how we uh, convey those lines, those how do you say cliches, those pickup lines. It's how we convey them in our eyes, in our tone, in our mannerism. Uh, I said it before. There's a difference between no, thank you, and no, thank you. Big difference. One, though verbatim as the other, says something completely opposite than the other in its tonality. Um, no, thank you, with a smile means I'm good. God's got me already. I don't want to accept help that could be used elsewhere. That no thank you. The other no thank you, I don't need to repeat. You don't know what I'm talking about. It's like, no, don't even look at me again and ask for my help to be helped. I get those. I get those from the most well dressed, well groomed, well efficiently, financially spooned. I tell you what, those people we hold in high regard because of the appearance they give to themselves, supposedly for ourselves. Those people that are shit wrapped in a nice little foil that makes it look shiny, the ribbon even. You know, those are the people that are actually voted in office that they call our vote. Our presidents that have been and become our presidents, those elite people in charge, they agreed secretly behind that president to be president before maybe he or she will be president in their own preference. You see, the politics that we are supposed to believe in and have faith in and trust that they are working for the not popular but the populace, those we put in place as our public servants, uh, are not doing their job only because we are not serving along with them. We don't even care what they sign. We don't attend any of these congressional meetings, even in the Senate or anything of the political sort. How many of us are well read and knowledgeable about anything political? Let me tell you how and why, if you do know, because you're in that game and you've studied, obviously, how to play a game. And that game is the preservation of ethics and morale and coding and all that in it, and to preserve honesty when they cannot be honest. They cannot truly be honest because the money they get to provide themselves and their family or wherever they provide to as their taxed money given, that because of taxes we pay them their money. I don't know. I feel like they're not paid enough. So why should they do more than anything but the book or what is told or that pamphlet manual, whatever? You know, why should anybody do more if they're not compensated for it? Why? I'll tell you why. Because it is compensated. And if you're expecting something that you give out of love and divinity and respect thereof, it's given not with strings, unless it's a bow tying it, the package together. But that gift of giving, this ain't no elephant party. This ain't an agreement that we all remain equally immersed. This ain't capacity at level of expenditure. This hope for help that God has created but has allowed me to be the founder. This is my father's business, y'all, but I am the founder. I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this belief that we should give gifts freely. There's been this common attitude amongst us, most human, since humans began. And they say they can pinpoint dates as to where we began. They say they can tell us what happened by the icebergs and all the tree rings. But I tell you what, science can only explain one thing only. That which those privileged with knowledge wish to convey. That part only that they can profit from financially, even notoriety wise, in notoriety, something for to be accommodated and expressed as the being for the reason of being. Everybody wants to be created. That's fucking retarded. You know who deserves the most respect that I should be giving towards? That which properly contradicted my negative actions. Someone who relayed and revealed to me that which I need improvement upon. Yet, those of us with this wealth and power surround ourselves with sycophants, and not those criticizing us constructively. We don't surround ourselves with our enemies as we should, because we believe we should hurt or injure or convert our enemy, even kill them. Tell you what, there's only one enemy. You can call him any name you want, but the enemy is you. The enemy is me. I am the enemy. I created it in my mind with belief that there is that one of which I even agreed upon it with others, so that that enemy was created and agreed upon by more than one person. And even I go so far to agree with others collectively to attack my enemy. Let me tell you what. I am the enemy. Me. As in you. As in me. I am the enemy. I created him in my mind. Could be a her. Could be a fucking animal. Could be a fucking male. Could be anything. A could enemy you could label as to anything you don't agree with. And here's the thing. That's funny and ironic and unfortunate all at the same time, which makes it hilarious, is that we, as in me, as in you, individually only, we are the enemy. We created that in our mind, we believed in it, and then we substantiated it by making others agree with us that it should be an enemy. But we are the enemy because it's us that we create this thus. And that's why someone, to me, ignorantly yet very importantly and prophetically says, love your enemy. And that's smart. That's instead of hating them, just love them. Change your mind. You change your enemy. You become friends. You fuck after you fight. Well, tell you what. They're almost there, but not completely right. Because you should love your enemy. Because, again, I say, you are your enemy. You created it. You should love it. Here's what I say about this conclusively, is that don't love your enemy. Don't acknowledge enemy. There so as, therefore being, therefore said, do not believe enemy. It's like believing in bad luck. And actually believing there may be good luck. Shit ain't luck. Shit is being blessed. And here's another ironic, hilarious joke about it. Some of us are blessed in believing in luck. So it all comes down that nothing is us. These words I speak, they may come from a mind that belongs in my skull, may come from that tongue that delivers it, and the lungs that give it propensity with the air that it needs. Never all, not mine. I didn't create my tongue. I didn't create my brain. I definitely didn't create love. But I was born with all of it. What do they call those? Trust fund babies? Yeah, I was born with all potential to do anything. His will. I could do anything not his will. He gave me the choice. The only reason for choosing the righteous or proper or exceedingly glad chorus of choice is because there is the fact of the matter inside ourselves that others come first. And not others, just others. It's Jesus, others, yourself. And that spells out joy. Acronymically. And joy is far better than happiness. Here's how. Jesus comes first, right? So you put Jesus first. Who does he put? Therefore first. Everybody. And specifically you. That praise it be. And Jesus has a reason for his demise, for that which we too are kill off in his physical form, is because he belongs in the Spirit. The Holy Spirit, which he gave to us as an aid, as a helper. That's the way he could be with us, as a motherly figure, a feminine kind of caring being that he put inside of us those he deemed worthy. And none of us are worthy, but he deemed it so. Gave us the gift of that discernment. So it is again hard for me to say that I don't want to be God. Not the God, but a resemblance of that thereof that I cannot even claim description of, other than the intangibility, those words that have no physical form, like care. Care comes from inside and displayed only physically by actually giving it in the physical way. But I tell you what, the intention of love, if that is there, those gifts come in all form, even disagreement. From love comes hope. That is my fourth Hungo proverb, and it is simple in the way it is to be remembered, simply, because my second Hungo proverb will say that how can anybody say no such thing spirit when such thing hope? And so the inexplicable through the gift of this divine wisdom, not our intellect, but our divine wisdom, there are schools for that. They'll actually charge money and consider themselves educational. A lot of us choose to elect to agree to pay a considerable amount in only the hopes that we get a job that can pay for that education. Let me tell you something right now. Our greatest president ever, Abraham Lincoln, this man was the president that challenged the most popular, yet most bigoted opinion ever invented from man, for only man. And even in the Bible, it talks about slavery as condoned, in fact, necessary or respected even as being one of that of which is or has. And so the immoral man took this moral principle of service before self, took this principle and formed it into something of which shall only be forgiven if it's never practiced again. And that is this attitude of racial superiority, when not even considered exact superiority in any achievement, because there's a champion different every year, and hopefully so. But we give all these very, very prestigious awards and recognitions for those of us that entertain ourselves in entertaining others. And this is why it's hard for me to accept if I was ever an owner of any team, not paying the person for someone else's accomplishments, but paying them for theirs. And I'd be a immediate failure. A lack of success, definitely. I don't know how to run corporation, but I do know how to live moralistically, trying to ascertain and live by. I tell you what, they say nice guys finish last. It's only because nice guys make sure everyone gets across the line first. And there's nothing wrong with finishing. First or last. So a lot of these common perceptions of value and attitude and all that persuasion is so full of shit. That makes us, we are full of shit, in agreement with that. Because I tell you what, here's one obvious apparent humble attitude quote that we should invoke to rely upon to make us better as a person. And here is that statement. And I'm going to tell you right here, it's going to sound to you immediately like it's bullshit because I'm going to say it like it is. Good things come to those who wait. Well, I waited for this to say. Those people who say that are full of shit. No, really, they're full of shit. Let me tell you the truth. Good things come to those who do good. Because those who do good do it indiscriminately and void of racial indiscriminacy, and although still maintain prejudice in that which is moralistic. So we have reason, all the reason, to do simply mercy and simply truth. And all the reason to not only get away with it, but to promote it as positivity. Because a lot of truth we love talking about is done enough. Is done in a way that doesn't admit guilt or agree to purposefully breaking some sort of agreement that we all agree on, which is called law. A lot of people study law that are actually good for law. And I'll tell you, in my opinion, a lot more people are in to study law because somebody told them it was the right thing to do with their wisdom. And which could be perfectly true in those considerations. Yet, here's what I believe. No law tell me. God tell me. One word. Rest. Man say, go with flow. God say no. 2 words. No rest. People want to tell me, look, man, look. God hears, says, listen. Door locked. Find me. And this is why I wrote there prior. Recognize the days we have due process and learn from the days we don't. For if we show mercy, it would be better. If not, we won't. For if we simply spoke truth, it would matter not we vote. For all our days, justness. Whenever any man, woman, child spoke. This then would be equity in justice. This is also a writing of mine. That's just Proverbs 3:3. It is, in my opinion, the bettering in my way of the book and being the book, but being better than is improvisation. And notice to that times change, y'all. And we need to evolve with and for time because others live in it with us. And the only reason for change is for betterment. Who wants to change to make it worse? Other than those that are prevalent in their expression of worse. And a lot of people of us make that choice, including myself. I know which is the worst choice, but I'm going to make it anyway, only in the hopes I get it my way somehow. And a lot of us do this. That could also be an expression of faith, or it could also be evidence of, therefore, lack in faith. Either way, no one knows, and that's why this relationship we have with God is all of us at once, and one of us, all of us at it, once at a time. It is this impossibility that remains obviously possible on a daily basis He proves us right for trying to make wrong right. And being wrong, obviously, and completely knowing that a wise man knows he knows shit. In his humility, in knowing that, still makes big mistakes. Because that is profound knowledge right there. Knowing that we are fallible, but it is highly unaccepted in the largely conceivably man attitude. Some of us Mexican call it machismo. Those of us that call it machismo and recognize it as what it is, call it instead insecurity. That is why, my friend, I consider all of us in order, in line, to be loved eternally. And we all wait in line. Not waiting exactly, some of us do it to ourselves, but consider the choice of not living. And if not living, only living therefore because living in the face of adversity and succeeding in overcoming that adversity we claim to be. That's just saying I have a goal. I don't know, I gotta show up for class. It's not hard. But we make it harder when we don't prepare properly for anything. And trust me, I hardly do preparation. Yet thereof so in prayer. I always pray. It's not hard for me to pray because I resolved prayer in order that I keep it short, simple, but true, undeniably, in my opinion. And why I suggest the Our Father, Matthew 5, in Matthew 5, or 6, it's Matthew 5 or 6. Anyway, I suggest not an alternate, but maybe one that could be used in less verbiage. I believe truly that when one says aloud, or even says it in their mind or believes it in their heart, Lord, can I pray on that? And you say, Lord, can I pray on that? Those simple 6 words. Can be the most powerful prayer you ever use. Because let me tell you why. For one, Lord, can I pray on that? You're speaking directly to the Lord. And only He and thy own know what I'm praying about. So it can only be one reason for that prayer to be answered. Only one reason. And it's not like, oh, let me check this side. It's not like that. It's practicing faith for faith to become reality instead of just belief that it will. Faith is actually practicing it because it's already been answered, that faith, once. And usually He answers our most important favors, even those that which we do not consider the most prioritized. He does that for us because He knows our heart and He knows our intention behind our prayers. And a lot of our prayers a lot of us feel the need to carry on about them and make them exact and make them, you know, like the ones we all want to hear and get behind and put on the movie Rudy, you know, to make us all underdogs who overachieve. You know, that's where faith comes in so handily because that faith that it is already done and it's all good because he did it done, and that belief, that faith, that is what I believe he respects, but others respect even if they don't believe in a God. They believe in the sincerity and the truth and honesty that is exampled and exemplified because he gives us the opportune chance, moment, and strength to do so. And like I say, all these accomplishments, thank you for putting the name of the being that actually did it. And thank you for my dad being named the same and naming me as him. That word, Jesus, it's not accurately the language. His name is Yeshua. And I tell you what, though, nothing more formidable in a wide expansion of a true opinion and belief is that even saying Jesus, even though inaccurate, even Jesus, is still holy enough that those unholy bow down because and for it. And just the name we place upon anything good instead of giving it a improper term, like how we use bad. That's bad. It means good. But those of us that don't appreciate that don't know why bad is good and the reason for being the opposite of this alliance that we share collectively settle for. You know, somebody. When was the last time we actually had a president we ourselves chose to vote for? I don't remember. All our presidents have been chosen to be before their actual selection for being voted on. We believe in this democracy and the value of it so much that we completely lie about doing it. This is not democracy. This is capitalist socialism at its finest. And legally allowed to call it a vote. And so much stipulation in regard for concern, proper handling of all our selection. So much so that it is what we want. When, I don't know, maybe a third of us actually vote in accordance with good faith and measure thereof. Because I guarantee you, a lot of us that choose to vote choose only reasons their own. And that's why people are so in agreement with that curtain and the privacy of it all. They should fucking make voting like American Idol. That way, your number of votes once, you never get another one. And if you do, well, good attempt and good for you. Because I tell you what, all these accusations of who is better, who is worse, none of us know who these people are. None of us know personally are public servants because there'd be accusations of trying to persuade this official in a lobbyist kind of way. That is, not only should be illegal, but commonly depended upon. Say, bro, that outer space life is living here and has been. Those outer, other than creatures, those that are non-human, they're here, bro. They're here everywhere. I love to discuss this topic because it is one of importance and relative to the importance futuristically. Because I tell you what, we've known about life and completely accept it in a spiritual / religious sense, so much so that we commonly refer to these that are not there of this angelic, or those that watch over us invisibly. You know, God's protectors that were sent here to guide and help us in a positive way in accordance with God's will. We call those angels. But angel is derivative of angelo, which is Greek for messenger. And those that have traveling through space and time, they had immediate, accurate description and definitions. In fact, when the Tower of Babel was brought down and we were all dispersed, it is quite notoriably mentioned in the Bible for happening. This dispersion, this confusion of language. And we still wonder why we're finding Buddha in the Grand Canyon and pyramids in China that the Chinese officials are arranging to look like a natural structure and not a pyramid. And also, we still remain comfortable still with boundary and border. These imaginary lines in the dirt that people proclaim and defend and attack, therefore, as a pre-measure. This border, this line in the dirt that we created, that is not real, but step over it, you get real fast. And you can be really killed. I tell you what, we are all native. We're all native. I happen to be native to this part of the world, where you as to happen from another. But we're all native to Mother Earth, this planet, Earth. We are blessed enough to have gravitational force with. I don't see any of these physics explain this modern theory of relativity. I don't see how any of these explanations can be there without God. I don't understand that myself, because God didn't invent the will. He invented the inventor that would eventually invent the will. And it took an awfully long time for us to agree to any kind of language. And here's the proper thing now to do is learn the same language, not use only exclusively that new learned language, but all of us know that one first and primarily. And that language is also another acronym that should be changed, which is ASL, American Sign Language. That's too much. It should be Sign Language, SL. That way, everybody learns it. Who declared America as the innovator and inventor of signing? People have been given waves all their life. I don't agree with compensating America as to thereof the creator of this natural motion and explanation therewith. And I also think it is time to say au revoir. I love y'all. Thank you for showing me. I love you.